Hey everyone, welcome to another Throwback Thursday. I got a book that's a little bit newer. Will you get out of the way, Jerry? By Peter Hamilton Giles. This is the first review I've done of a Peter Hamilton Giles book. He is known for doing the whole series on the Black Dragon. I have quite a few of those myself. Today I'm going to talk about the Baron Citadel, the Book of Four Ways. And this is the first edition released by Three Hands Press in 2015. I believe it's been reprinted by another publisher. The illustrations are just absolutely beautiful in this book, but the book itself, to be honest with you, kind of bored me. And the reason why it's not the topic so much, it's really just the flowery language that so many British authors use. That, quite frankly, it's just kind of tedious. He really, it could stand to move a lot faster, honestly. But, like I said, he spends a lot of time with the British flowery language, that it just gets kind of annoying after a while. I really wanted to like this book more. There were things about it that I liked, but it makes me think that after reading a Peter Hamilton Giles book, I may not like his Black Dragon series. And I've looked through his Black Dragon books, and I just don't know what to do with them, to be honest with you. But it's great if you're into working with the Lord of Death, Mott, and Qayin. Because Baron Samedi is Mott in Voodoo. So this book is kind of in the vein of the Gnostic voodoo sects that came out in Britain. It's not real voodoo. I just need to make that clear right off the bat. It's literally a hodgepodge of Kabbalistic and kind of the Western tradition layered on top of voodoo. So if you're expecting something that's kind of Haitian, you're not going to get it. This is... So here's Lord of Death, the Baron himself. Or Mott, as I like to call him. So if you're into Gnostic voodoo, it was something that was created by, God, how do you say his name? Shoot. I can't think how to say his name, but it was the first book, I believe, was Voodoo Gnostic Workbook that came out. And this is kind of in the same vein. It's the same genre, basically. Voodoo Gnosticism is kind of, you know, a mixture of Crowley, Aleister Crowley, and Thelema, OTO type of stuff, layered on top of voodoo. So it's a fairly new concept that exploded in Britain and kind of made its way into the States in recent years. Still relatively new here, but so I feel it's imperative to point that out, because most people would be like, well, this is about Baron Citadel. It sort of is, and it actually has a lot of other stuff in it that he kind of goes into. So the book starts off with, he talks about the dead and working in graveyards and creating different stakes to basically put in a circle. So there's a stake for each spirit, each higher spirit that works directly under the Baron. Let's see. There's 13 stakes in total. And they each have to have this symbol on them, and they're all made out of cedar, I believe. Let's see. Which is not easy to find in the U.S. I mean, you can grow it, certainly in your yard, but you're not really going to find it too much wild unless you're up in the mountains or something. You're lucky. So he says in Britain it's very common to find this in graveyards. Talks about the blackthorn in all of these death cults, you know, especially with the Qayin stuff. It's very sacred. But sorry, it wasn't Sears, yew plants are extremely hard to find in this country. Like I said, you can put it in your yard and grow it yourself and then harvest it. But basically it demands that you find this tree, you respectfully do a ritual where you honor the tree, and then you cut off the branches that you need, and then you proceed to make stakes. All of these sigils on it. There's 13 of them because there's 13 beings, both male and female, that are directly under the Baron, so you have to go through them first. You have to honor them first. And then once you've done these rituals, some of these rituals are kind of what I've already been doing, basically, which include taking taking tombstones from abandoned graveyards, which as you can see, both Lord of Death here and Qayin. This is a headstone. These are headstones from an abandoned cemetery. So, So it instructs that you do that, particularly a cross. I have yet to find a cross in a cemetery that I can take, to be honest with you. I'm having kind of a hard time with that. So, like there is some similarities between this and the Mark Allen Smith book, because it instructs you to take a skull also, take human bones, and use a skull in your temple, basically. Now, the average person finds this to be probably immoral. But I think it's important to understand that when you're on the left-hand path, you do have to transgress. And you do have to do some unsavory practices. So, at the very end of this book, he suggests that you take directly from a grave a skull, along with whatever bones you may stumble upon. And then he talks about appeasing these spirits. He does go into a little bit of sacrifice, but because he said that you have to kill the living in order to appease the dead. Basically. But he also suggests that you can use your own blood too. And then finally at the end of the book, he goes into an invocation to the Baron Citadel here. But he does talk about the tools that you need for the temple and all that. Again, he spends a lot of time with flowery language, which is kind of annoying. I found that with this a little bit too. For some reason, the British authors don't really just cut to the chase, like say the Swedish authors, for example. A book like this just cuts right to the chase. There's no flowery language. It's just, this is how it is, The British authors tend to be a little bit slow about it. So, I don't know, I only recommend it, honestly, if you're already working with these spirits. If you're not interested in working with cemetery spirits, which are very demanding, by the way, I really don't recommend this book. It's not a book for the casual practitioner. It's really just kind of a waste of money unless you are dead serious about working in necromancy. Particularly, with the spirits of the dead. And, of course, Lord of Death himself. So, my contact with Mott came through a dream. The Lord of Death spoke to me and basically said that he was older than Qayin, or an angel of death. This is a very primordial being. So this is not an easy being to work with. They can be very demanding, these spirits. And right now I'm kind of having a hard time fulfilling my obligations to Qayin right now, but for certain reasons. So, Mark Allen Smith, in this book, he talks about that you have to absolutely get a skull from a tomb. It can't be altered. Now, he calls Mott Arcos in this, but I've already done a book review on this book. So, but these are kind of the books that I recommend if you want to work with Qayin. So, the most obvious ones are going to be the Liber Falsifer books. But the problem with the Liber Falsifer books is they turn him into Mott. So you just have to be aware of that. Because Mott is Baltimore, so he's Lord of Death. That's in Tesla Mott, which is one of the hells that's mentioned in the Citragra. So, he is the ball that is in a Ribsarak, basically. The Cleffa or Ribsarak, or a Ribsarak. But Qayin is also in there as well, as it turns out. So, unfortunately, what this author does is he makes Qayin San La Morte or Senor La Morte. Senor La Morte is Mott. He is not Qayin. However, Qayin works closely with him and is actually his servant. He is the first worshipper, probably, of Mott. He is a disciple of the Lord of Death. So he is the Little Reaper, basically. And then, of course, we have Liber Falsifer 2. I highly recommend. This one's kind of like Liber Falsifer 2. It's written by Daniel Sulky. It's got some Qayin stuff in it. This is a great anti-cosmic book. This has some stuff about Qayin. It also has stuff about Lord of Death, too. They call him something else in this. I have not read this book yet, by the way. Once I read it, I can definitely talk about it. But yeah, there's Qayin. And then the Lord of Death, primordial guy here, is, let's see. There he is. So, yeah, they're two different beings. So, Lord of the Dead and the Soul's Fire. So they call him Mahazael. Yeah. So they work together. And then, of course, we have this Saltarian Canny. I'm going to be reading this soon as well. But yeah, I would recommend this. So my personal gnosis about Qayin is he has made it clear that when he killed Abel, it was like a sacrifice to Mott, and that kind of allowed Mott to invade our world with like anti-cosmic forces, basically. It was like an invasion. He opened the door to allow this guy to kind of, you know, spread the roots of, you know, the dark tree into this realm, basically. And my first run-in with Qayin happened after I bought those items on the dark web. You guys may remember that video where I was unboxing that stuff. That was kind of when he started coming to me. And the first thing that he said was, because I was trying to banish the energy because it was so dark, and I was like, I thought it was a force that was going to attack me or something. But, you know, he said, I'm not gonna harm you. I'm Ishu Ombulu, or Qayin. So, as you can see on that altar, I have a Ombulu statue here. So, it's also known as, that statue in particular is also known as Ishu Catacomba, or Ishu of the Catacombs. I'm having a hard time finding an Ombulu that is holding the casket in his hand, but so he is on the skull side of Nkambanda. He is Ishu Catacomba. So, will you calm down? Cat is jumping around. And then on the soul line, he is Ishu Omulu, so he's holding the casket in his hand. Let me just walk over here. So, and then Mott on the skull side is known as Tata Kavira. He is linked with his Lord of Migdolan form, basically, and his wife is Rosa Kavira. This is his soul line. So his soul line is Ishu Morte. So that is Ishu Morte. And of course I use it for Senor La Morte also. So, yeah. And then this is a pot that I created for Qayin. This is so that, like Mott, hey Jerry, it can receive sacrifices. So, when I have to feed them, I have to, you know, do that. So, in fact, they're gonna get a rooster pretty soon here, both of them. So, and I put the serpent skin on him here, and then I moved this over to him because this is descendant. but yeah. And then of course that's Qayin, Dominar, Tumulus there. So you take that guy to the cemetery to help protect you. But yeah, he works really closely with Ishu Kavira. Not to be confused with the Tata Kavira. But you can take this guy out to the cemetery also. So, yeah. Yeah, necromancy isn't easy. It's very demanding. So I really don't recommend it to the average person. It gets pretty heavy at times. So, and of course I gave him, he's got a spirit bottle there. Because Mott didn't want this. I got this for Mott, but he didn't want it because he's already got a glass there. So, or goblet, if you want to call it that. So, yeah, they don't even, to be honest with you, they probably don't even want to be filmed right now. Honestly. So, anyway, if you guys found this book review helpful, please hit like and subscribe. Thank you.